the update on my oil filter and pulley modification.
Hi, I'm Sean and you're watching my channel Shopworx. I'm just going to give you an update on that pulley there and on the oil filter that we put on there a couple weeks back. Had a chance to take it down and put some miles on it, and we'll see how it did. So a little bit of an update, made a round trip all the way from here down to Vegas and back. There's a bunch of touring around down there, hit some pick and pulls. Didn't find what I was after, but had a good time no matter what. Figured I'd do an update here on my idler pulley now that I put some miles on it. Wore some paint off it. It's still the original belt I had before. When I did the work on it, I ended up moving that alternator back, just a blonde one, and it seemed to make the world of difference there. It had no problems, no issues. Really enjoyed that. That's a good solid fix for it anyway. And the other update I was going to do is on that oil filter. I've been very impressed so far with the oil. Usually that's black. That's the color that I pulled out there, and that's like I say, all the way from up here in Alberta, center Alberta, all the way down to Nevada around, and did some touring and stuff and back. I still have the old oil pan in the shop there. I'm going to give it a quick dip and show the difference of color. I'm going to do a little more investigating, but I think this filter's got to be a lot smaller microns, and definitely taking some of that color, that black suit out of there. I left a little bit in the pan here from last time. Put a little on the finger and give her the smear test here. Sort of see the color difference, very similar mileage on both of those. You can tell I ended up breaking the door handle off ever since they tried breaking into the truck here and succeeded. Through the driver's door there, the linkage has always been stiff. I had to straighten it out best I could, but I still have some problems with it, so I'll probably be pulling this apart here in the near future and seeing what's wrong, if it's a linkage or if the door's got the infamous cracks in it there. It wasn't when I put it together, but who knows by now. So we'll be pulling that back apart. And there's the lovely craptastic plastic that Ford uses. Going to be putting a metal one in. I actually had the wife look online there and she found one of these in black metal, so it'll match up. What I usually do is I take the metal chrome ones, any of the early 80s F-series there, the old brick nose. They brick nose, bull nose, I don't know, the early 80s anyway. It's the ones there, they're pot metal with a chrome finish. That's what I put on the cheaper ones, but I don't want to change all four of these right now.
So, figure better talk about the age-old question everybody gets asked when they have one of these trucks. What's the fuel mileage? And you go on forums, everybody's got mileage that bounces around all over the place, and everybody figures that, you know, this gear ratio and that and this, and next thing you know, you got people that are 8-10 miles to the gallon difference. So I figured I'd put this to the test here, and I'm going to put it out there right now that this has got the 7.3 Powerstroke. I've got over 300,000 kilometers on this engine. It's got a ZF5 manual transmission in it. It has 410 gears, and 285, 75, 16 all-season tires. With those tires on there, that puts my final gear ratio at about, for the rear ends of the larger size tires, kind of knock that down to about a 4.0 to 1, just for an idea. And I'm going to have these videos here of different states when I was going through them to get an idea of the different conditions and mountains and hills and etc. So, and also my driving style, I guess. I did this trip at roughly 75 miles an hour as an average, which is asking a lot for a diesel with 410 gears. And like I say, my driving style, I like to pile in the truck and get on where I'm going, and didn't have any kids with me this trip, so I piled in the truck at 1 o'clock in the morning here and pulled into Salt Lake in time to still hit 2 pick and pulls the same day. So it's the advantage of having dual 38-gallon tanks in this thing. It's great as long as you're not one of those people that gotta pull over and pee, or you got your kids with you. Otherwise it's, I don't want to stop till I find a gas station. So the part of my trip here that I did all the mileage calculation on was pretty much driving down, leaving central Alberta down to Nevada. Did a bunch of running around Salt Lake, did a bit of running around down Nevada, and checked out the Hoover Dam and hit pick and pulls and rail excursion, etc., etc. So that's all. What I basically did was mainly highway with a little bit of city and town and stuff in there. And so I'm basing it on 3,000 miles, and I used 197 US gallons for that at 75 mile an hour on an average, which works out to be about 15.2 miles to the gallon for US. And I also had my water meth running down in the southern states there where things are getting hot. And I guess for me getting hot, for you guys it's probably still pretty cold down that end. Anyway, I didn't like the temps on the pyro, so I turned on the water meth there and ran it around through Nevada and Arizona and Utah. And then on the way back till I ran out, and I got 1,430 miles with the water meth going for 10 gallons, so that worked out to be 143 miles to the gallon for water meth. Not too bad there. I'm just running minus 40 blue windshield washer fluid with no detergent in it for that. So like I was saying, I left at 1 in the morning, made it to Salt Lake, hit the 2 pick and pulls. I started looking for fuel on the way down, actually, around Idaho Falls. I had a little over half of my rear tank left at that point. Couldn't find any card locks that were working. I've got a CFN card through one of our fuel retailers in Alberta here. And for some reason it doesn't like the little CFN pumps here, there, and everywhere. I got to actually pull into a full-sized bulk card lock with the card reader for that. I only found 2 on the whole trip, one in Cedar City and one in Sunburst, Montana on the way back. So that's pretty much how that one worked. So went down, hit the pick and pulls, ran around there. Threw $100 in, which worked out to be about 26 gallons in Salt Lake City. Threw that on the credit card, and then I was looking for that Bronco tailgate in the rear seat, which I have not been able to find. And went from there. After that, I had no reason to hang out in Salt Lake because I didn't find what I was looking for, and stayed the night at Cedar City. So basically, that's a pretty good haul for one day there. Got up at Cedar City the next morning, and I threw 57 gallons in there, topped off for complete. Lucky I found that card lock working. Drove around from Cedar City down to Nevada, did all my running around down there, did my stint in Vegas, came back and filled up again at Cedar City, topped off, which was 30 gallons. And from Cedar City, ran to Great Falls there the night after, and ended up, last station I know of, Sunburst, Montana. that takes that card there before I hit Alberta, and well, I sure as heck wasn't going to pay carbon tax on my fuel, so I went and pumped in 63 gallons there, which ended up taking me all the way back home here, where I threw another 21 in. So that's how that trip ended up for as far as fuel goes. Well, I made it this far. Figured I'd swing by Hurricane and check out Matt's off-road recovery, his shop here. Didn't expect him to be open on a Sunday, but it's been passing through, so figured I'd check it out anyway. Out here at Nevada Pick and Pull, I got everything done up nice, concrete, asphalt, all up on rims. It's one of the best pick and pulls I've seen. Ain't nothing like this back home. Where the heck do you see crane trucks at pick and pull? Don't see anything over a 1 ton back home. Well, so far at pick and pull here in Utah, I think I've spent $4 on a Slim Pass program getting my exercise in. Looks like I struck out. So I guess that was basically my trip in a nutshell there with the truck. It did well. I had losing a little bit of power steering fluid in the system there. I think it's coming out of the hydro boost somewhere, but it's not really leaking a lot. So something else I'm going to have to dive into in the near future once I figure that out. In the meantime, I'll just keep topping it up every 500 miles or so, and that'll keep that going. But it was all in all a good trip. Truck did well, and ended up doing Rail Explorer expedition, and it was definitely pretty cool. So appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this channel and watching it to the end. And if you'd like to see more of this kind of stuff, I'm going to be diving back into doing a Dana 60 front diff here for another project, me and John there, and we'll play it by ear with what's coming up. Remember, like and subscribe if you want to see more.